I watched a movie the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a fucking...
Was it a good movie?
I don't know if I'd say that. There were some cool things in this movie, Mike. It's called Malignant, and it's on HBO Max. Can you look up what the fuck, why this movie exists, who made it, and all that shit? Because I watched this movie, and it's like, it starts, and then this bitch comes into her crib. Well, first, it opens up. I'm going to spoil this movie for you.
This shit looks dope.
It's pretty good. It's also very bad. The acting is god-awful. It makes very little sense. It's a movie. You ever watch a movie and you're like, why are they just introduce characters and there's no setup to them?
Yeah. I mean, that goes against everything in movie making.
Yeah, but she'll just, like, the main character will just be talking to somebody and you'll be like, wait, I think that's probably her mom? And they'll be like, okay, that's her mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that happens.
No exposition.
I don't throw this out there. That happens twice in the movie because the character's adopted.
That stinks.
Yeah, and she's a bad actress. Her sister, the woman who plays her sister's a bad actress. There's some bad cop acting in it. There's an Asian guy an Asian cop that they just refer to as K until you see his nameplate on the on his desk.
Is it Kim?
It's like Kyok or something. And I was like, they're just calling him K because he's Korean or something. Like, it was just such a weird.
No, so I like that as a detail, as a thing where it's like you got a weird last name, or it's like a hard to pronounce last name. It would be normal for people to be like, let's just call him K.
So let me break down this movie.
I dig it.
Okay, so it starts off and you're just like, it's like a doctor and it's just looking and it's like 40 years ago and it says, it's time to remove the tumor. And then it just like goes present day. It just immediately fades to present day. And then it's this woman in her house. She's walking in pregnant. She turns off the UFC fight that her husband's watching, and he mashes her head into a wall. And she falls down, and she's pregnant. And then she's just like, clearly she's just in this abusive relationship. And then later that night, the husband's doing some stuff. And then it starts getting real spooky, like in the house, right? And like the TV starts flickering. And then you look across the street, and there's just like a creepy moving monster. And you're just like, oh shit! That dude's about to get malignated. And then bong! The malignant just breaks into the house and bong bong kills that dude, right? And then the lady's there. And then she's just like, oh shit! And she runs and hides in the fucking room upstairs. And then you just hear the door slamming and then she wakes up in a hospital. And they're like, the cops are like, I think she just killed her husband. Like, it's clear that she's been abused by him. And then they're just like, well, she seems she was attacked and this and that. And then you're like, oh fuck. And then she's like home. And then all of a sudden, right? The doctor from earlier. So the cops are like not sure if it's her or it's not her. And they're just like, oh, there's this creepy dude. And then they're just like, then there's the doctor from earlier is in her house. And then, and the lady's home. And then all of a sudden she's in the doctor's house. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because they don't explain why this is happening. That she's now in the doctor's house. And the doctors go, why are you in my house? And she's like, I'm not in your house. I'm in my house. But then really, the malignant is in the house and they're soul linked. And
into both houses?
The malignant is in the main house with the doctor, but then he's mind linked apparently with this lady, right? That's what they're showing you.
So they see.
And you kind of notice that he's backwards. He's walking backwards. And you're like, wait a second.
You kind of notice?
Dude, they do a good job. I was talking to Shakes about this because as soon as I watched this movie, I called him. I was like, yo, you got to watch this movie. There's a backwards motherfucker in it.
All right, that does sound kind of tight.
And he be bodying people. And then,
so the doc bodies people?
No, the backwards dude is bodying. That's
the malignant is the backwards.
And he was like, I was just like, he was like, yo, they did a pretty good job for like the first 5 minutes of being like, oh, maybe it's just moving creepy steez. And we don't know why it's going backwards.
Maybe he's moving creepy steez?
Because it was like kind of like they were like, they do that flickery thing where the fucking monster moves flickery. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But really, I just like noticed that his hand was backwards. I was like, I think that motherfucker is backwards. I think there's a backwards ass motherfucker killing people in this shit. Kills the doctor. And then they go, oh, why did he kill this doctor? Well, she saw it. And she's like, yo, I saw the shit. And they're like, yeah, you didn't see it. It's just in the newspaper, you idiot. And then they're like, maybe she killed the doctor too. We got to find the other side of this murder weapon, which was the trophy. And then all of a sudden, this bitch that looks like that lady.
Wait. The murder weapon was through a portal?
No. It seems like there's like a weird portal thing, but it's not a portal thing. But I'll tell you this about this movie, Mike. I'll tell you this about this movie. The cinematography in this movie is fire. It's fire. You're just kind of like, I'm gonna overlook, like, the movie is like so beautiful looking that you're like, I'm gonna overlook many consistent, every scene there's a new plot hole. The entire time you watch this movie. And even when they wrap it up at the end, you're kind of like, but like, how did he do that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it makes no fucking sense. There's plot hole after plot. At one point, there's just another lady who gets got. And then you're like, who the fuck is that lady? I thought it was the lady who the whole movie was about, just at her job. But it turns out it was her birth mother. And they don't explain that until like the last 5 minutes of the fucking movie.
Wait, so you, in your mind, this bitch got killed, then she showed back up?
I thought she got ganked and was in a fucking attic somewhere. And then they were just doing weird flashbacks. And I was just like, this makes no fucking sense. I'm telling you, it literally just happened. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, oh, maybe I think that might be her real mom. Because then they reveal that she's adopted. I was like, oh, that's probably her real mom. But they just didn't fucking explain it. And they never say what her job is. So then all of a sudden there's just a lady that looks like the main lady in this fucking job who gets got. And I just thought it was her again. Because they didn't do a good enough job fucking explaining it's two different people. But they fucking reveal in the end. So what it was the whole time, the killer, the backwards motherfucker, right? This backwards motherfucker that was backwards motherfucking murking motherfuckers. All right, so basically what it was.
Hold up. The baby?
Nah, damn. But it was she had a tumor that was a conjoined twin that combined in the back of her head, but it was like an alien, like, blah, coming off of her back. Like, they show her birth mom in like a video of like this crazy doctor shit, and it's just like, well, Gabriel's an abomination. And it's like, what? And then you see the little girl, and then all of a sudden you see these like little arms flickering, and then they pan the camera around, and you're like, oh shit, it's like an alien motherfucker on the back of this little bitch. And so what they did was they cut as much of the alien motherfucker off of this bitch that they could. First of all, it's the exact same plot of Simpsons fucking Treehouse of Horrors #7 with fucking Hugo.
Fucking Hugo.
I literally was like, it's fucking Hugo. The whole I was like, I figured it out what it was with like an evil twin shit. Because they start being like, oh, it's your imaginary friend that's talking to your brain. So basically this tumor can play tricks on her because it's in her brain. So they cut up most of the tumor. They put the rest of it in her skull. So then when the husband had beat her early in the movie, the first scene.
He like rattled it?
He awakened the Malignant. And so the Malignant started fucking shit up. That's why he got first.
So you're telling me that he was the first motherfucker, like that was the first time he hit her?
That was the first, no, that was the first time because he like basically palmed her face into the wall, and you see like a crack in the wall. So like they had alluded to the fact that he had been smacking her around, but he straight up bong and just cracked her head against the wall. And that's what awakened Gabriel, which is the name of her tumor, which is a weird thing to do, is name a tumor.
Well, I mean, it would be the name of the twin when you thought it was going to be twins.
Well, because they also thought it was the devil.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's like some weird devil stuff in it, but not really. But then, so whenever the tumor takes over, basically this bitch that's why it was a backwards motherfucker, right? So this bitch's skull opens, she wears like a fucking leather trench coat, and this bitch's skull opens, and there's a face in the skull, and she just walks backwards and bodies people backwards using the tumor face that comes out of her skull like it's coming out of a fucking bone pussy. It's fucking.
So that's why she saw the shadow?
Yeah, and then
because it was her own shadow moving?
No, so apparently the fucking tumor can implant fake memories into her brain and make her see what it wants her to see. So it made her see that it made her think she was still at home, even though her body was killing these people. And it was like torturing her with it. It's kind of cool, but really the most poorly executed kind of cool thing I've ever fucking seen him. It's hilarious. It's so fucking funny. At one point, this fucking bitch, you kind of start to realize that this is how this is going down. That this is the tumor living inside of her, making her do this. And then she's in this fucking jail cell, Mike, with these fucking broads who are kind of like, one of them is like a 70s black chick, and then there's like an 80s mullet bitch in it. And they just gang up on her and start fucking her up. But then the tumor dude comes to life, and she kills fucking all of the people in this cell. And then like 300 cops like doing... Why? I don't understand why this tumor could do backflips in this lady's body and somehow throw backwards punches that takes policemen's heads off. Like, at one point, she throws the tumor body, the tumor head, throws a fucking hospital bed at the sister. And the sister's pinned by it. But then when she finally takes back over her body, she goes to lift the hospital bed. And the sister's like, you can't lift this. And she's like, it was always my body. The strength is in me. And just lifts a hospital bed as herself. It's a 140-pound woman. It makes no sense, Mike, but it was kind of cool. And I recommend everybody watch it.
All right, but yeah, so if the fucking tumor thing had powers and it was her conjoined twin, I mean, she got the powers too.
You'd think.
Yeah. So she's like, look, I always knew I could.
But why did a tumor shouldn't give you powers?
The tumor didn't give her powers. She always had the powers.
That's true. It could also, like, for whatever reason, the tumor could fuck with electricity stuff. Like, at some point, when they're just like, you did it. We know that it was you that's killing the people. And then the fucking tumor from her brain makes the Korean guy's cell phone ring. And he's just like, hello. And he's like, it's me, Gabriel. Blah, blah, blah. And then they're just like, oh, I guess you're not the murderer. But they still just put her in that cell anyway.
Huh.
I'm telling you, Mike, I know I'm not really explaining this well, but I feel like I'm selling it to whoever's listening to this movie.
I want to watch it.
It's fucking kind of dope. And I'm telling you, it looks really cool. Like, the visuals in this movie are fucking dope.
Awesome.
Like, the way they cut through the house, it's like they built a house and cut it in half and, like, film from the top, like bird's eye view shit, and it's fucking dope.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's fire. So everybody go watch Malignant. It's silly as shit, and dude, the tumor face. It just looks like remember the Mad Balls? Pull up Mad Balls and then pull up Gabriel. See if you can Google Gabriel Malignant movie and see if we get a picture of that, and then pull up Mad Balls, the toys from the fucking 90s. Because it just looks like a Mad Ball.
Oh. I'm not seeing any pictures of the face.
Really? Oh, I guess they don't want to give away the reveal.
I mean, I have a drawing of it, I think.
Let me see.
So is that it?
That's the drawing. That's the police rendering she gave of the perpetrator who attacked her.
I mean, you did kind of nail it.
Yeah, it just looks like a mad ball. But they were just like, like the black lady cop was like, you expect me to believe you were attacked by Sloth from the Goonies? Pull that picture up.
Sloth from the Goonies?
Doesn't look like Sloth from the Goonies at all. I nailed it with Mad Balls. But also, Ass Face from Preacher?
Yeah, Ass Face would be.
It looks way more like Ass Face from Preacher than anything else. Come on.
I mean, too many teeth to be Sloth.
Yeah. Sloth doesn't have that many teeth.
Yeah, that's Sloth's like biggest fucking attribute is the missing teeth and like the lopsided head.
Yeah.
This guy's got like a fucking caved in face.
Yeah, I mean, if you
way more ass face.
Yeah, way more ass face. Got that Kurt Cobain vibe to him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Malignant, great movie. Oh, did you find anything?
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the director?
No, I was looking. I got distracted by the number of fucking HBO Max movies that are available now.
Yes,
you know, fucking Cry Macho's on there.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
I'm excited for that.
It's about Macho Bum Randy Sewage.
Yeah, dog. And then fucking what's the other one? Oh, James Wan.
I don't know what that is.
James Wan is the director of.
Oh, that's the guy who directed Malignant.
Same guy who directed the first Saw and Insidious. He also.
Oh, the first Insidious is fire.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he also did one of the better Fast and Furious movies.
Tokyo Drift?
7th installment. The one, I think that was the one.
Is that the one with the submarine?
No, the one with the submarine's trash. 7 is the one, I think the first one.
With The Rock?
No, it's the one where Paul Walker died, I think.
Oh, shit. This is the one where he walked into the water? Paul Walker ended Fast and the Furious 7. It was like he was Godzilla that had just won a fight.
Nah, he came back out and then he got in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And then they drove off together and the fucking song hit. And then I cried.
Moving on. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get podcasts. And make sure you follow me at Chris from BKLYN on Twitter.
Also, of course, make sure you support our sponsor. That sponsor is Vinylgraph. With Vinylgraph, you can make custom graffiti pieces that are on vinyl stickers that adhere to your wall. They're reusable. You can take them down, use them again. Vinylgraph.com. It's VINYLGRAFF.com. Use the promo code Chris1 at checkout, and they're going to give you a sweet 10% discount. That's vinylgraph.com. Use the promo code Chris1 for a discount.